You ever have one of those genius light bulb ideas, but then you just don't do anything with it? You feel a little too lazy, a little too comfy on the couch, and that moment just slips away. We usually think of laziness as just messing up our to-do list, right? But the truth is, it's a silent killer of something way more important, your creativity.
So before we really get into it, I want you to just pause and think about this for a second. What if that app, that story, that business idea you just kind of let fade away was the one? In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how laziness wages this quiet war on your best ideas. Okay, let's start here. First things first, we need to be on the same page about what creativity even is. It's not some magic gift that only artists or musicians have. Nope, it's your built-in superpower. It's how you solve that tricky problem at work or connect two totally random ideas to make something new. And here's the most important part. Think of your creativity like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weaker. It's that simple.
And that's where our story really kicks off. Because while you have this incredible creative muscle, there's this silent villain working around the clock to make sure you never, ever use it.
Now, let's get one thing straight. This villain is not rest. Rest is amazing. It's essential. It recharges your brain. It's intentional. The villain we're talking about is the laziness trap. It's that default mode where you always automatically choose the easy path instead of the better one. It's all about avoiding a challenge, not getting ready for one.
And this villain? It's sneaky. It doesn't just show up looking evil. It wears disguises. Sometimes it looks like that I'm so overwhelmed feeling. Other times it's that little voice of fear. The fear of failing. It can even be a short attention span, or just being totally addicted to your comfort zone.
Sound familiar? Yeah, this is the soundtrack of laziness. These phrases create a mental loop that's the polar opposite of what creativity needs to survive. Creativity is all about effort, about exploring. Laziness, it just wants to put things off till tomorrow.
So how does this actually happen? How does laziness pull this off? Well, let's open up the villain's playbook and look at the 5 main tactics it uses to sabotage your creative potential.
First up, and this one is huge, it absolutely murders your curiosity. See, all creative breakthroughs start with a simple question like, what if I tried this? Or, I wonder how that works. Laziness has one simple, soul-crushing answer to every single one of those questions. Why bother? And just like that, the adventure is over before it even starts. Tactic number 2, it convinces you to run away from any and all challenges. But here's the secret. Our brains forge new, exciting, creative connections when they have to struggle a little bit. It's in solving the hard stuff that we actually grow. Laziness wants to keep you on the easiest difficulty setting, forever. A place where your brain never stretches, never grows, and never ever discovers anything new.
This one is a big one, especially today. Laziness pushes you into total autopilot mode. You know what I'm talking about? Endlessly scrolling, binge-watching another series, just consuming. You're not creating. Your brain just gets filled with noise, leaving zero quiet space for your own ideas to bubble up. And get this, it happens so fast. It turns out that being constantly distracted for just 20 minutes can make your brain measurably less capable of coming up with creative ideas. Think about that for a second. Just 20 minutes of mindless scrolling can literally weaken your creative muscle. That's wild. Ideas have a shelf life. They really do. They're born with this little spark of energy and excitement. The villain's 4th tactic is all about stealing that momentum. Laziness whispers, just wait, do it later. But when you put it off, that initial spark starts to fizzle out. The excitement cools off, and eventually the idea just vanishes. And finally, there's the guilt. When you know you should be working on that cool idea, but you're not, this quiet layer of guilt starts to build up. This guilt is like static in your brain. It blocks clear thinking. It makes you want to avoid the creative project even more, which of course just creates more guilt. It's a nasty, self-defeating cycle. So how do you know if you're under attack? Okay, real talk. Just look at this list. Do you get great ideas but never act on them? Do you start a bunch of things but never seem to finish? Are you constantly waiting for that perfect time that, let's be honest, never really shows up? If any of this is hitting home right now, don't freak out. Just recognizing the pattern is the single most important step to breaking free. But this is not where the story ends. Now that we've seen the villain's playbook, it's time for your comeback. Let's talk about how you can actually win this fight for your ideas. Okay, here it is, your 5-step battle plan. First, start tiny. To beat that feeling of being overwhelmed, just commit to 5 minutes. 5 minutes of writing, 5 minutes of brainstorming. It's all about rebuilding momentum. Second, unplug and imagine. This is the direct counterattack to passive consumption. Give your brain some space. Third, move your body. Seriously, a simple walk can literally shake your brain out of a rut and get creative juices flowing. Fourth, create a no distraction zone, a sacred space where your mind has the silence it needs to invent. And finally, number 5, reward the effort, not the perfection. This is how you fight the guilt. Celebrate that you showed up and tried, because creativity dies when it's pressured to be perfect. So here's the bottom line. Laziness chips away at your creativity slowly, quietly, every single time you choose comfort over curiosity. But it doesn't have to win. The second you decide to choose the meaningful path, even if it's just a little bit harder than the easy one, that is the exact moment your creativity starts to become unstoppable. So let me ask you, what meaningful choice are you going to make today?